Enough! We want real and complete news. Well, hello everyone and welcome to We Want Real News. Today I want to feature a video that was made by a gentleman named Douglas DeCote Sr. And I stumble across videos once in a while and some of them really stun me. This gentleman was talking about, he went into a store and was wearing a Trump Make America Great Again. And he was referencing in the video the way he was treated or felt very uncomfortable for such a silly reason and just because of a hat. And so what he wanted to do was to, explain it was an experiment, and two, wanted to give his definition of what he thought Let's Make America Great Again stands for. And it was very, very well done. And I want to remind you that I'm playing this, not all of it. I just want to play the part where he describes what he, how he would define the hat that he's wearing. And I urge you to go watch his video. So in the description, we have a direct link to his video. And I'd just love to have you watch it. It's well done. It's so great to see an independent person out of the blue, one of us little rednecks, whatever, take the time to explain and say that he embraces diversity, and he's seen what it really was like years ago, and that needs to go away. But there was a lot of good things that came from what we used to be as Americans when it comes to being patriotic and standing for the flag and holding a door open for a lady, and all these little things we're losing and giving up. And so anyway, without further ado, here's part of his video. So this is the definition of what Doug thinks that hat means. And please take the time to relax, grab a cup of coffee, and listen to what he has to say. And then I urge you, go see his video.
Today's video is on Make America Great Again and what that means to me. What it means to you could be something totally different. But I'm going to go with what it means to me and what I believe it means to every conservative, every Republican, our president, and most of all those within his administration. What Make America Great Again actually means. It means that we would like to go back to a time, and when I say go back to a time, let me tell you, I'm 56 years old. I was born in 1962. Born in the South, so I've seen an experience.
So basically what he's talking about, before we go any farther, is there's a lot of things that existed in old America that were good. And there's some things in old American that was bad. He's just suggesting that we carry forward the good things, and obviously the bad things we're getting corrected.
Experienced a lot of hate and a lot of racism in my lifetime. There was a time when I was in high school at Robert E. Lee High School, which, by the way, is no longer Robert E. Lee High School because that's racist, so they named it Lehigh. Then tore down the school and rebuilt a new school under the title Lehigh. There was a time when we'd go into the cafeteria and there wasn't metal silverware, it was plastic spoons only. We knew there was some type of a race riot or race war that was going to be started.
And his story there has actually happened too. I lived in Washington State and went to a school in Kent, Washington. And we actually had the same thing happen in our school, where we had about 500 seniors, you would say, graduating, and I bet you we only had a dozen and a half folks of different color, and there was issues, and we literally had to have the plastic silverware. It was sad.
Before the day was over with. And sure enough, that's what was going to happen. There was the staff had got word of it, and that was their first line of protection. Make sure the kids get plastic. Prior to that, I was in my hometown the first group of white kids to be integrated into an all-black school. It was Valley Park Junior High School. Prior to going there, a white person had never stepped on that campus other than being a teacher, and there was very few of those. I'm not even going to go into what happened to me at Valley Park. There was some really bad things that happened. But after I joined the football team and basically stood my ground and showed them that I'm not a racist, I'm just one of you, I just want to get my education and move on with my life, I made friends and I was accepted. Other people, other white people, didn't. Now, back to a time of racism is absolutely, hands down, not what Make America Great Again is about. It's about the ability to have freedom of speech where one side doesn't try and shut you down because you don't fit into their little bubble of protection, their little bubble of safe spaces. It's a time when you can say what's on your mind, whether it's complimenting a woman or a girl on her pretty makeup or hair or her nice dress, and not be looked at or have the police called on you for being a creep.
And by the way, guys, I have that problem. I have to open a door for my wife. I like to have my wife walk in front of me and let her go first. I like to treat her like a lady. I like to admire her like a lady. And I remember before I retired, I worked in a big company, and I had a female manager, which was awesome. She was great. But like if we had walked to a meeting or something like that, and it was just her and I going to the meeting or something, I still ended up like I hadn't even apologized. I had to apologize. Like, I'm sorry, a little old school. I'm going to get the door for you, and at least gave her a warning. But it was terrible that I felt guilty for respecting women the way I did. And you're looking at someone who's raised a girl who's a career person. I made her tough, and she's educated, and at the same time, a great leader, but a wonderful woman and a lady. And I don't know, this guy kind of hit my heartstrings a little bit. It makes me sad that that's gone away.
Or being looked at as a sexual predator. It was a time when women liked to be complimented. Nowadays, you can't even do that. You can't be at work and compliment a woman on her beauty. A time back then where we could leave our doors open at night, literally. Our windows open in the fall when the breeze was coming through at night. Never locked my car door. Never locked our house door. Didn't need to. A time when if you had a disagreement with somebody on the playground or wherever, you just duked it out. Big deal. When it was over with, you got up, you shook hands, you hugged, and you were best friends again. You didn't run and call the police and talk about how you were assaulted and oh my gosh, and all this stuff that happens today. A time when people were respected, our elders were respected. Men and women that served in the military were respected. Young men looked up to those type people, our NFL players, boxers, politicians.
So one more comment I want to add to that is that's one of the things I've noticed in the young generations, I'm talking about like the teenagers and stuff, is there seems to be this big gap. And I meet a lot of them, not all of them, but when we were brought up, we were always told to find good mentors. Basically, as you're going from teenager to adult, you need to find mentors. You need to find good older adults that put some faith in you, saying, well, he's a good worker and he's very courteous and he's respectful. And not only will they help you learn some new skills, but they can be references as you move your career up. And they can go back 5 years later and say, oh yeah, Rob worked for me and he was a hard worker. And because, the young people, they're always fighting that I don't have experience thing. So they need mentors and they need to respect adults and of all ages, and any of them that will take them under their wing will help them succeed. But that's not today's philosophy anymore. And it's really sad.
Law enforcement. A time when boys growing up, that was we wanted to be them. We wanted to be them because they were our heroes. A time when basic freedoms under the Constitution were the very first thing that entered your mind when you woke up in the morning and were part of your day, and you thought about it when you went to sleep at night. Your freedoms. You didn't take them for granted. Most people had someone in their family that served during World War II, during my era, and Vietnam. And today, the youth, the generation of today, has family members that served in Operation Iraqi Freedom or Afghanistan or Desert Storm, and even some Vietnam. But they don't look at them the same as we did back then when America was great. A time when I could express myself by wearing this kind of shirt or wearing any kind of ball cap. Didn't matter. This one here says USA, United States of America. To many today, that makes me a racist. Without a doubt today, wearing this hat and the looks I got were about the same as if I had a white robe and hood on and was going to a cross burning. That's a shame. Make America great again means when everybody respected the law. You didn't become combative and abusive verbally towards law enforcement. Make America great again, a time when everybody in the neighborhood knew each other. Families got together on the whole block and had barbecues. Every home down the street with the exception of maybe one, was a family unit, not divorced, not single parents. And every kid respected their neighbors, the people on the block, their parents. Make America Great Again was a time when if I was down the street acting like an idiot, the neighbors could grab me by the ear and drag me home to my mama's house. And when my mama finished beating my ass, my dad beat my ass. Nobody filed a lawsuit against the neighbor because he grabbed your kid by the ear and brought him home for being disrespectful. A time in America when the youth said please and thank you and yes sir and yes ma'am, no sir, no ma'am. May I have another please? A time of respect for your elders. A time when you wanted to spend time with those in your family. That's what Make America Great Again is all about. A time when our military men and women were able to do their job, whatever the president wanted, with what they needed to do their job with, and with honor and dignity. And they came home to a nation that was grateful and respectful. It has nothing to do with a time of slavery, a time of any oppression, taking voting rights away from blacks or women, having to eat at separate tables in a restaurant, or having separate water fountains or bathrooms. No one that I know, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of most conservatives and Republicans and the president himself, think of Make America Great Again, and this hat is the same as what the liberals and Democrats have done to the rebel flag on a hat. And sadly, those that are against the rebel flag have no clue what the rebel flag actually looks like, the actual Confederate flag. They don't have not a clue in the world, and it still flies today all over the place. But because a few dumbass white people hijacked the flag and put it as their symbol, such as the KKK, now anyone who wants to have pride in their heritage from the South is considered a racist. We have come to a point in our society where people have lost their damn minds.
So that was Douglas DeCote Sr., and I really appreciate the video he did. He did a really good job. And I urge you to go down to our description and please take the time to subscribe to his channel. And anyway, it's kind of sad. I feel like there's a lot of suppression going on, and a small majority of people are somehow making policy for the United States. And my concern is pretty much protecting freedom of speech and, of course, the Second Amendment. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. Please take the time to share this video all over. Please subscribe to Doug. He's got a great channel there, and we support him with all of our heart. And please make sure you subscribe to our channel. Hey, thank you so much for listening to We Want Real News. Please take the time to like, subscribe, and share our videos all over. We need your help. We appreciate it. Till next time, bye.